Welcome back to STL TV Live, and joining me now are Ann Broyles and Barry Rinderknecht, a couple who has experienced the impact of the Gateway Better Marriages program. We've been talking about that in our last segment. We had another couple here who are also certified leaders like you are nationally to lead couples in learning better communication skills for their relationships. And I want to make sure that we note that this is not necessarily just for married couples, right? Any committed relationships.
Exactly.
Okay.
Any committed, loving couple, including newlyweds or couples that are going to be married.
Mm-hmm. Great. So what are some things that in your specific example of your life, you were a blended family, but
Yes.
you've been married 27 years.
Yes.
Long time. So what are some ways that Gateway Better Marriages has helped you all along that time?
Well, you can imagine blending a family with 5 children, how difficult it is emotionally and schedules and time. And the skills that we've learned in Better Marriages, we've been in Better Marriages over 20 years. We've also been in a marriage enrichment group for at least 17 of those years. And that has given us the skills that we've needed to communicate with each other and appreciate each other. And it's helped us a great deal.
So Barry, when you were about 7 years married when you came upon this program. And what was it at that point in your marriage that what called you to look for a better way to communicate?
Okay. Well, actually, I was the draggee. She was the dragger to get me to come to some of the organizational events. Mm-hmm. And we found that things were more mutually fulfilling by going to learn the communication skills and learn how to dialogue with each other so that the issue of a blended family wouldn't overwhelm us. And we would have a way of discussing things, working things out without arguing about them or giving up on
And some of the communication skills that you learned, were you able to include the children in this as well, teaching them effective communication with the family?
I think we did that by modeling our behavior, and I think that's been very helpful. Our children are all adults now, and we do have conversations with them about what they witnessed when we were first married, and some of them were quite young, and some of them were teenagers.
And the communication skills are things that young people can pick up. I'm sure they work with them through their schools at times. It's the skills carry over into business, into interactions that you have with people that you meet throughout the day as well.
Mm-hmm. So give us an example. In the last segment, we saw an example of a dialogue, of an affirmation dialogue. Mm-hmm. What's another type of communication technique that you all can show us?
Well, we have different topics that we can talk about at our marriage enrichment groups or in some of the workshops that we do and facilitate and participate in. And if we might be able to show you just a brief one right now.
Okay.
Barry, I just want you to know that 27 years is a long time, especially when we started out in a previous marriage. And I am so grateful that we learned some of these skills together, and we're much better off as a couple. We're not afraid to have differences of opinion. However, we can include all these skills that we've learned in our toolbox.
Okay, so you have expressed that you are appreciative of the skills we've picked up. It's added to our toolbox, and 27 years of getting along. And 27 years ago, I felt very comforted that you would take a risk and take a challenge of blending my 3 children with your 2 children, as we sought out a way to.
So I'm going to cut you off,
okay.
and I apologize because I can
That's
imagine
okay.
at home this is a great thing that you could do every day and find new ways to help each other feel included and communicate effectively. But I want to make sure our viewers know about some of the ways that they can get involved in Gateway Better Marriages, some of the workshops and things coming up. So can you fill us in on that?
Absolutely. There are a lot of public events that take place, and we have 3 movie nights a year at Schlafly's Bottleworks, and then there's a short, brief time that we discuss the topic of that movie.
Okay, you've got one coming up?
We got one coming up on June 23rd, and we're really excited about it. And I think you have it on the screen at some time. Okay. And then there is a workshop that's taking place on the 28th of September, and that's an 8-hour workshop. There is a minimal fee for that, and you learn the basic skills. And then there's also, after that, there's an option that you can take an 8-session mentoring. And if you want to become part of a marriage enrichment group here in St. Louis, you can do that.
Great, and all of this information is on your website, which we've had on our screen, so our viewers know how to find you.
Exactly.
And obviously, great things going on here in St. Louis to better our marriages, which are the foundation for our community, truly. So,
and our families, yes.
Exactly. So
I want to point out just one thing, if I might, and that is that there is a national organization, which you heard from Dan and Kathy previously, but there is a national organization that has a conference every 2 years. It's going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. But we are proud to tell you that in 2015, that conference, Better Marriages, is coming to St. Louis.
That's great. So a couple years away, but let's get involved now.
Yes, yes.
And then we'll have that to anticipate. That's great news.
Yes.
That's exciting for you all. So come back for sure and tell us about that when the time is up. When the time comes. And thank you both for sharing your marriage and your communication tips with us and all of the great workshops coming up with Gateway Better Marriages. And next up, completely changing subject, we have the comic geeks, Brian Spath. He's going to be here, so don't go anywhere.